Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Today I want to show you how to load film into a Leica M2. It's a similar, it's basically the same way as a Leica M3, but just in case someone's looking for the specific M2, I'm going to do this video. So very simple, there's no mystery to it. Bottom plate, you have to turn this sideways. So we turn this sideways, pull down the bottom plate, it comes completely off. Don't lose it or drop it because that's a big bummer. And on the bottom you can see a little bit of a, painting on how you should load it. So that's a good reminder if you forget. We have the take-up spool, which is here, which you don't want to lose. We can leave the camera on the lens, and you can see you can open the door to see what's happening inside the camera. So once we have our take-up spool and we have our roll of film, which is a Fuji Neopan 1600, being a long time gone, but I found a roll, so we're gonna load it up. And the take-up spool has a little dotted arrow that you can barely see when it's all black, but when I load it with film, you can see it. So we have to grab, this is how it's gonna look once it's inside the camera, so we have to turn it around, and now we have to basically start pushing the emulsion into that little arrow. So let me push, and you'll start seeing it slowly. It's black on black, so that's why you can't see it. You see the dotted arrow there, there, all the way. You can see it there perfectly. And so yeah, there it is loaded. And the good thing about loading this way is you can't really make mistakes. So now you pull a little bit of the film out, and we have to get into the camera. So we slide it in carefully. Don't want to pull out too much, don't want to pull out too little. Once we have that inside, just a little tangled. There we go. So now here are the little gears for the advance. So you want to try to see if that engaged. So we shoot the shutter and we advance, and that seems to be going fairly well. So we can close the back plate and put the bottom. So the bottom has this little hole that goes into this little pivot. So we put that in there, and we just have to do the reverse. We have to turn it clockwise, and that should be loaded. Once it's loaded, we are light tight inside. We can shoot one frame, shoot 2 frames, and usually the third frame is half a frame or almost a full frame, so I don't expose it anymore. And now we advance. You got to self reset the frame counter because they cheaped out on the M2 instead of the M3, which had it automatic. So we go to number 0 there. And one important thing is, if you want to make sure you load it correctly, you can try to rewind a little bit. Okay, so this is the rewind little knob. We pull it out, as you can see, and we try to rewind it. It won't let me, which means it's properly loaded. And also, if you want to make sure while you're shooting, if the roll is still in there doing what it should be doing, once we take a frame and we advance, you have to look at these little 2 red dots that you can see here. Let me make them very visible. And they should turn as I advance the film. As you saw that work, that means it's loaded. There's no ISO reminder on the Leica M2, so I use the back dial. It is an ISO reminder, but it's the old school one. So I pointed to 160 to know it's 1600 film because that's what I usually shoot, black and white 1600 film. And then when you finish your roll, you have to push this little lever to the R for rewind, pull this out and turn the way that it tells you here, which I don't know if you guys can tell, but there's a little black marking with an arrow, which is clockwise. And that way you can rewind your roll. So yeah, that's how you load a Leica M2. I hope this helped you out and you enjoy shooting a Leica M2 just as much as I do. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.